There were great celebrations this past weekend. You even heard Jimmy Matthews, who was here yesterday, praising our Vodacom Journalists of the Years. They were held, the award ceremony, over the weekend, and it saw some of our top journalists walking away with amazing prizes. The awards celebrate. They also acknowledge journalists who have shown exceptional work in broadcast and print media. Well, today we are joined by two of SABC's award-winning journalists, Nomawethu Solwandle from SABC TV News and Hazel Friedman from Special Assignment, and they both join us from our Cape Town Sea Point studios. Ladies, congratulations and welcome to the morning show.
Thanks so much, Leanne.
Thank you.
Good to have you, and well done. I mean, let's start off with you, Solwandle. You won the award for the TV general news story, Life Without Nomawethu, without flushing toilets. Tell us about this story. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I think, Leanne, we had done so many stories about people living without water, people fighting for houses. And I mean, we've done so many stories about people without toilets. But we have never seen the anger and the difference in which the way people had protested than when people started throwing feces at public buildings, at the airport. And that was important in the story and how we told it. Because, I mean, what had happened? Why had people taken things that far? And, you know, I mean, the interviews were so gripping. The interviews were so interesting. I mean, as a journalist, you wondered, where do I cut the soundbite? Because this person is speaking from the heart. Yeah. So how we told that story was very important, because also there were political voices. And as a journalist, you have to be careful now, because you can't interview this one political party and not interview another. So there were a lot of elements in the story, but definitely a very interesting and different story to tell.
Yeah, most definitely, and one that really was a shocking story for South Africans. It really was. But when you go back to the root of it, you really understand the anger and what was driving them. Hazel, before we continue, Nomawethu, Hazel, tell me about your story. You won the 2014 television feature for your program, your story on Special Assignment. What was that all about?
It was called Duplicity, and as the name suggests, it was about basically the dishonesty of so many parties in the ongoing gang conflict. And this is an ongoing tragedy, and it afflicts more people than a conventional war zone. But in this story, basically we realized that it was difficult to trust not only police sources, but even people from within the community who were afraid to speak out or who were not speaking the truth. And ostensibly, the story revolved around the imminent release of Rashid Staghi, but it was also the story about the young woman who had been gang raped on his orchestration and had testified against him and had basically caused him to be in prison. And also just the duplicity around what happened to her. She was shot shortly before he was due to be released, and police misled the media. We were basically used by so many different parties, and it was a story about our own confusion and about our own unwitting role, sometimes as pawns in a madness not of anyone's making. So.
Yeah. It must be hard working on these stories. What is it like for you going out and covering stories like this, Hazel?
You know, Leanne, with these stories, one sees the worst of humanity and one also sees the best, because you see heroes who don't stand on political platforms, heroes who have to really live day to day with this ongoing carnage. And once we leave that environment, it continues. I mean, the credits roll, we move on to another story, but for them, this is the daily reality. And as we speak now, Manenberg is still being afflicted by this ongoing gang violence.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, no, it's very hard. I mean, you see things, and I mean, you get footage, you meet people. And Nomawethu, you do this on a daily basis as well. I mean, working for SABC News, you see awful things. I mean, just, you know, as a journalist, what is life like? And I know we don't have time, but I just want to know from your perspective. I mean, there's so many people that would love to go into the career that you've chosen, but what is it like? What does it come with?
It comes with so much, Leanne, and I think the interesting thing is you never know what's going to happen. You never know what to expect. Today you'll be doing a story on economics and you're all smart. Tomorrow its feces are being thrown all over town, you know, and that's the beauty of it. You get to you learn every single day. But also you get to grow a thick skin because you have to. You know, there's so much going on, the newsmakers, the editors in the newsroom, and the fights that go on there. You know, you see a story on air and it's a minute 30, and there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
But, you know, we learn every single day.
We really do. But ladies, I know you never get the glory, and I said that to Jimmy yesterday, the unsung heroes that never get praised. So today we're praising you, and I'm glad that you were awarded over the weekend. You deserve it. Thank you for the great work that you do for us here at the SABC, ladies. Thank you and well done.
Thank you very much, Leanne.
Well, joining us there in our Sea Point studios, you'll recognise their faces. Nomawethu Solwandle, 2014 TV General News winner, and of course Hazel Friedman, the 2014 television feature story working on special assignment. All right, I've stolen too much time. Let's take a break. We'll see you after this. Stay tuned.